Raise.
Raise. 160.
All in.
All in.
Count.
Call.
Welcome as well to our viewers on the PokerGo YouTube channel. We're
No,
live
I
on
have
both
to
PokerGo
flash
and
those.
Venetian.
Yeah.
Got Lozano Martin all in for 835, and Shih
She with king, queen of diamonds here, but likely going to chop Lozano Martin king, queen off. So we'll see. Could be diamonds, but you never know.
always
Okay.
lowers the stress level a little bit when your opponent turns over the same hand.
Spade, spade, diamond.
Got ace 5-5
Oh.
with a 3 on the turn, and we'll chop this thing up.
Ooh.
One more.
Lozano stays in the game. For everyone watching our stream live, whether you're on the Venetian YouTube channel or on PokerGo, please let us know where you're watching from. Same goes, by the way, for PokerGo.com, live in all the places. Happy to provide you this coverage, this $1 million guaranteed tournament. It's been going on for the last couple of days here inside the Venetian Poker Room. 5s here for Shih. Day 2, by the way, started with 75 players, and they made it all the way down to the final 6.
Raise. 160.
Laplante in the big blind with 3s. We still deep enough to peel with pocket 3s here?
Yeah, I think off this sort of stack size, I mean, I think calling is fine. You know, obviously you don't really want to play 3s out of position, but I don't think there's really much you can do here, given the other stacks at the table. Nothing there for Laplante. At least that deuce isn't a 3 because it's middle set for Shih.
Yeah, that would have been the end of the day for Laplante if he had stumbled into set over set. And Shih, flopping a set of 5s, is going to continue here for 90,000.
This is the type of board that Shih is going to continue at a pretty high frequency, I would guess. King high, very disconnected, no flush draw. And because of that, he does get one call out of Laplante.
Wow, and the turn is the 4 of hearts. Laplante now picking up a pretty well-disguised open-ended straight draw. The question is, what is Shih going to charge him to try and hit that straight?
Looking like Laplante's going to lead here. Probably figures that, you know, even independent of him turning an open-ender like this, somewhat decent card for his range versus Shih's. You know, Laplante can have like 5-4 suited, for example.
Now, if you're Shih here, how do you move forward? Do you want to bloat the pot here? Do you want to come along and call, give Laplante another chance to bet at it on the river?
Yeah, I think call, because I would guess this is less of... Oh, wow.
Wow, what a river card. Ryan Laplante makes the wheel, goes runner-runner to beat Shih's set.
And it's a great card, too, because there can be a lot of aces. There can be the ace-kings of the world, all in the range of Shih.
And look at how small Laplante goes, betting 200,000.
Oh, that one.
She makes the call. Ay, 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 ay. She mucks without showing. The table might have erupted if he turned over that set.
Yeah, and notice the sizing on the end there from Laplante went more of a blocker sizing. Instead of getting really value heavy, definitely want to either make sure that he got called or induce something larger from his opponent.
Shout out to everyone tuned into the stream live on the Venetian Poker Live channel. If you're catching us anywhere else, I urge you to subscribe to the Venetian Poker Live YouTube channel. Find us as well on Instagram and Twitter. We're posting daily clips from our shows. Happy to provide you with additional poker entertainment on top of what the PokerGO channel has to offer, as our short stack, Lozano Martin from Spain, finds A7 of hearts. He's just above 10 big blinds, so will we see a shove from him?
Close here, I think. I can see him going either way. I wouldn't think he's going to raise fold,
All
but
in.
maybe he is. Yeah, okay.
All in announced. Lozano Martin goes for the shove. Let's see if he can get through the blinds. Makes the act, and he finds ace-jack.
What's the exact amount?
Between live and online, Laplante on 8.5 million in career earnings. Founder of Learn Pro Poker.
This should qualify here for Laplante.
Is it a decision between raising and calling? Or do we not want to get into trouble here in case she finds something?
Yeah, I think you can just come with a call here. It's big enough.
All right, so here we have it, our first all-in showdown of the final table. Lozano Martin looking for some help. He needs hearts, he needs a 7, or perhaps some way to make a straight, as Ryan Laplante is the favorite going to showdown. What a terrific start this would be for Laplante, winning back-to-back big pots if his ace-jack can hold up here. 2 million chips in the middle. Here comes the flop. Jack 9-8. Backdoor hearts available. A 10 would give Lozano a straight. But Laplante very comfortable here after the flop. Bit of a shrug there from the Spaniard. What can you do?
How about a 6 of hearts?
Your chips are in the middle.
A real sweat.
6 of hearts would be the super sweat. But instead it's the 9 of spades.
4 side.
As you can see, Martin down to his final 3 outs as the 10 of spades has been folded. Can he find a miracle on the river, or will he be down to 5? River card is the 3 of diamonds. And Lozano Martin is our first casualty from today's final table. The Spaniards collects $36,516. And Ryan Laplante is off to a hot start, now sitting on 3.5 million after winning back-to-back big pots.
Great start for Laplante. It really is. You know, made that straight against Victor Shih, and then there taking out Lozano Martin to gather even more chips. Always a tough cookie is Ryan Laplante. All these players, all you know, including Lozano Martin, all regulars around here in Vegas, frequent Venetian quite a bit. So I would guess they have quite a bit of experience playing against one another. A lot of them also do battle online at times. So will be a lot of history between all of them. Sandberg now slips down to the shortest stack. And after that one, he's going to be just under $1 million.
Stacks reasonably deep here at this final table. Lots of play left on this road towards the top payout of $167,000.
Couple of 8s here for Wiegmann under the gun. Blinds now up to 50,000, 100,000. Makes our math a little easier.
Yeah, we should stay in this level for a while. Really
I
helps.
always love when you play the 5K, 10K, or 500, 1,000, or 50,000, 100,000. Just because, it's just the quick and easy math.
Yeah, 80K, 160K doesn't hit the same.
No, it just doesn't.
Wiegmann raising it up with eights.
I mean, Queen 4 suited. Stavia can defend here. He is facing an under the gun raise, but deep enough. Hand is of enough quality here.
Cody Wiegmann ran deep in the 2021 WSB main event, finished 62nd. That's when you're starting to sniff that final table a little bit, or at least dream about it.
Top pair here for Stavia. Backdoor diamonds as well. Checks to Stavia, who I would say likely going to continue here. Only really worried about that queen, of course. Can get some value from a 7, a 5. Charge some sort of straight draw combination. Can obviously continue to rep all the premiums, being the under the gun raiser. Bet of 150 does follow. Stavia calls. Hi.
Wow.
Okay.
We are delivering some entertaining hands here right off the bat, as Stavia's queen now crushed by the set of Wiegmann. We'll let the cards and the chips do the talking here at the final table.
It's kind of similar to Laplante's hand. Stavia could easily lead here, thinking this is a good card for me.
I have no room for my legs and shit.
And he is going to lead.
Yeah, and then the table ends.
It feels too
Little
high,
does
I
he
guess.
know.
That's how all of these, literally all of them are like this.
That is the gin card for Wiegmann.
Even the one at PokerGO?
WSOP, they're all these like high backed ridges.
Yeah.
Now, if we're Wiegmann here, we're of course weighing our options. How do we make sure that Stavia becomes a customer for a larger amount, potentially on turn or river?
Here?
Yeah, the reader's in here.
Yeah,
under
I
here.
think I would probably come with a raise here. I mean, you can call as well. Raised, don't go too crazy. I mean, the bet is still pretty small,
Yeah, I
180.
don't know why they always have these big ridges.
Kick it up to like, I don't know, 650, 600, something like that. Size it up for a jam on the river, pending you
It's
get,
your first
you know,
RFID
not a
experience.
6 or something like that comes out. He is going to raise.
So Wiegmann raises it up. Now, what goes through the mind of Stavia here, given Wiegmann's pre-flop raise and now turn raise? How do you assess that range? How do you make sense of it?
This is a
Looks
trick.
strong. It looks strong to me.
No, it looks very strong. And one of the problems, at least for Stavia, is the strongest hand here for Wiegmann. He can't have straights raising under the gun in this spot. It would be top set of queens. You block top set of queens. So is he really have sevens? He might make a, an ICM fold under the gun with fives. Did he really just drill this 8? Is he going to take this line with aces or kings? I feel like aces or kings are more along the lines of just calling. So this is a tough spot. He might read this as more of a bluff than not. Or at least not the strongest of value. And if he does that, I mean, what if he rips this in? Like, also, I mean, he can rep straights, 2 pairs, all coming from the big blind here. I mean, obviously, if he does jam, Wiegmann's calling, but the way that this one is setting up, it could ultimately lead to a little bit of a misstep here from Stavia. And I mean, it's hard to necessarily blame him with how this is playing out.
Now, if Wiegmann has ace-queen or kings or aces, sort of hands you could obviously link to his play, would he even raise the turn?
I don't think he would, right? 10 here keeps things clean for Wiegmann. I don't think he would raise those hands. I think you just call down, right? Because you can be behind with those hands, and they're a little bit more static. And then for that reason, you know, Stavia, he blocks the best hand that he would have in terms of top set. So that's very hard. So it's like this guy has 7s and 8s, or maybe he's just like, this guy's leading into me. I don't believe him. I'm going to try and blow him off this hand. So it's a tough spot for Stavia, and I think this is going to be a jam, maybe one of those leave all the chips behind type of thing. Or leave one chip behind, I should say.
Wiegmann announced an amount, and the amount is 1.1 million. Does Stavia read this as a bluff? At the end of the day, it is quote-unquote only Queen 4.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bluff catcher, for sure. And what are the bluffs? You know, I don't think he's taking this line with aces, kings, ace, queen, personally. I mean, he could be.
But is he doing this with ace, king, ace, jack, or hands that Stavia can beat?
Yeah, and like, is a hand like 6s one? You know, and he's like, listen, you can't have a straight because I got 2 6s. Maybe you got 2 pair, but I'm going to make you fold those.
I mean, this hand, no matter what happens, is going to be a massive swing at this final table, and we're only a few hands in, and we've already seen chips flying all across the table. Stavia from Moldova, now living in Las Vegas, plays this game for a living. Can he figure it out? Looks back at the Queen 4.
That looks like the look back before you fold.
Yeah,
But,
the way
we've been surprised before.
the way he's holding those cards does seem as though he's leaning that way. Now, we don't know what history these guys have. Perhaps Wiegmann has been shoving bluffs in his face over the course of the last 2 days, and that might factor into his decision-making, but I find it hard to find a hand that Wiegmann could have that Stavia beats. And there it is. He releases. Let's go. Saves himself $1 million there on the end. And Wiegmann up to 3.3 million after that one.
One of my good friends who's very good at poker always kind of told me one of his rules is if it doesn't make sense, just fold. Somehow they just have it.
Yep.
Somehow, some way. You know, you can try and talk yourself into all the different hands and the combos that they could be bluffing with, but they usually just somehow find a way. I mean, 8s does make a lot of sense with the way that that one played out, of course.
Shih with ace-10 of diamonds. It's going to come in for the raise.
So good starts here for Laplante. Good start for Wiegmann. Both chipping up quite nicely and on very similar stacks.
Victor Shih just shy of $500,000 in career earnings. A regular here at the Venetian Poker Room.
I would say all these guys are regulars here. Even Paul Lozano Martin. You know, just perusing the Venetian Poker Twitter account when it's posting, you know, end-of-day chip counts, results, all that sort of stuff. These guys are always in the mix, so I would lean that they have a decent amount of history with one another, and maybe if it's not a ton of hands played one another, they probably generally have a good idea of how they're going to play, how they're going to approach things. Probably in some group chats and whatnot, saying like, oh, this guy's going to do this guy's going to do that. So all that will come into play here. Wiegmann did defend here with the 5-3. Interesting spot. He's kind of wrapped around that 4. He could have a 4 coming out of the big blind. He's got the backdoor flush draw, so this is going to be a texture where probably a fair amount of c-betting from Shih. So does he want to get aggressive here?
I mean, I have to say,
I love it.
I love the action so far. Everyone came here to win. And Wiegmann's going to fire. The check raise up to 385,000 and a quick fold from Shih, and Wiegmann is about to take control of this final table.
That's your ship.
Yeah, I just threw it up.
Yeah, good initiative there from Wiegmann, pouncing at that one. It's very easy at times when you defend from the big blind, you flop like there, you know, you're 3 to a straight, 3 to a flush, that sort of thing. And you say, oh, I can call. Well, it's oftentimes more beneficial to just get aggressive, especially on a board that's probably going to fall into the higher c-bet frequency from your opponent, but also one that when they are c-betting more frequently, then they're going to be a little bit weaker and not have connected as often. So you can attack, and you know, you can either just win it right there like Wiegmann did, or you can turn equity and decide to barrel off, put your opponent in some tough spots. Also in that spot, you know, you're going to be the one who has more of the fours than your opponent, so
Evan Sandberg, by the way, top left-hand corner of your screen. Our short stack just shy of 10 big blinds. Very accomplished player on the live felt, has 6 cashes over 6 figures. Won a WSOP online bracelet event back in June of last year, and then another one in 2022.
2.8, 3.3.
Sandberg going up against a bunch of big stacks, so he's got to pick his spot carefully.
yeah, he will be in the big blind next hand, 100K twice, so good chunk of his stack will be forced in. And listen, I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so in regards to the trophies.
Right.
She's been losing chips. Get the trophies away from my man. Like, it is ruining his day.
Imagine if he said, hey guys, can we move this, please?
Yeah, put it on the other side of the table. I want him to lose. Like, what is going on here?
You know what would be the ultimate flex? If she ordered a beverage of any kind
Just put it
and
in the
just
cup.
poured it in the cup and started drinking from it, I would respect that a lot. For everyone tuned into the stream right now, let us know where you're watching from. Let us know if you're perhaps, you know, getting in some poker action of your own. We'd love to hear from you all. Maybe you're even watching from the Venetian Poker Room. Where, by the way, I can't stop talking about this. The beverage station. What a terrific addition to any poker room. You just make yourself a nice coffee, fresh ground beans, pour yourself a soda. Stay locked in.
Wow.
No way I'm looking at those cards.
No, zero shot.
We are live on PokerGO, on the PokerGO YouTube channel, and also on the Venetian Poker YouTube channel. I urge you to subscribe to the new Venetian Poker YouTube channel. We're stoked to be partners with them, and we are just trying to get to 1,000 subscribers.
They're just too far apart.
If you're among the first 1,000 subscribers of the new Venetian Poker live channel, you earn a high five from me, and you can redeem that whenever I see you next. I mean, all you have to do is say the word. I will trust you on that one. Wiegmann with 7s raising it up. Laplante with ace-king of diamonds makes it 450. We haven't had a boring hand just yet.
3.3.
Yeah, 3.3.
Sevens might fall just outside for Wiegmann. That said, you know, he's been pretty active here. So is he just having some thoughts like, I know Laplante is obviously paying attention. He knows that I'm getting active, so is he taking an opportunity to come at me slightly lighter than normal? We can obviously see he has a very good hand, yes. small enough, and these guys are deep enough that Wiegmann does elect to come with a call. He's still good here.
Laplante goes for 200 into 1.1 million. That small bet sizing, always curious to me. I never really truly know how to read into it.
Well, you know, when you're going to be betting often, you can bet smaller. When you're going to be betting more infrequently, then you have to come with a larger sizing at times.
And the ace comes in for Laplante on the turn. Does bring a third club, but Wiegmann's sevens now shrinking very quickly.
Yeah, Laplante's going to have a lot of ace-king here, some ace-queen as well on the 3-bet. Of course, you know, he can have kings, queens, stuff like that too. Probably going to size up a little bit here from how he approached the flop.
Laplante now betting 800,000.
No club in hand for Wiegmann, so cannot continue.
And Laplante just keeps on stacking chips. Terrific display by him so far. Came into this final table with 2.1 million and now up to 4.1.
I was thinking of a win at it.
Oh,
The rules, there's no competing brand.
That's the lucky hat. I had the lucky hat on. No competing brands in here. All right. Dude. I thought you guys were cool with the win. Like,
There's
thought they
bad
were
blood.
too. Is there bad blood? I was thinking about it today. I'm like, I'm gonna be on the Venetian stream with the win hat. Like, I figured they're fine. I thought they like were.
No, one of the main rules was no competing brands.
I only heard no offensive clothes.
Yeah, they said no competing.
No
brands.
offensive clothes, and she is wearing a Lakers jersey.
Yeah.
Someone call the
Yeah,
police.
just-
Oh, gotta love it. Shout out to Matt running the show on the floor. Everyone here at Venetian Poker Room doing an amazing job. And Matt, if you hear this, that hat looks nice. I'll take one. Donnie, how long can you keep a white hat clean?
I had a white Nike hat for a while, and I kept it very clean. I mean, it took a lot
Only
of
two
work.
sections
You know, you
of
got to make sure people aren't
Yeah,
touching
like
it
the
and
blue. Everything else
all
is
that sort of
bad.
stuff. But
No Cheetos?
no, no
Oh, that
cheats.
was 420, so to say.
And if you have Cheetos, you just can't touch the hat. I mean, those are the rules.
4.6. Wow.
All right, here comes the flop again. Laplante versus Wiegmann, both players with an ace. Intriguing flop to say the least. Slight edge here for Wiegmann with the 9. But Laplante's got to feel confident here.
Yeah, he probably feels all right. I mean, it's a middling ace. It's not the best. There can be some better ones probably in the range for Wiegmann. Ace 9, ace 10, probably some ace jack. Maybe even ace queen too at times, but still, he feels all right. Might not be a 3-street hand, but I could see it being a 2-street hand. Wiegmann comes with check. Card here that's probably going to favor Laplante's range more so than a big blind range, and he's going to continue.
Laplante betting 375, and now Wiegmann. Is he thinking, am I taken to value town, or is this hand simply too strong? And is he thinking, I'm happy letting Laplante bet all streets, and I'm just going to be comfortable here taking this thing to the river?
Yeah, I think you're essentially in pot control mode. Just check call, check call. I don't think you want to just bloat a pot with your hand, basically turning your hand into a bluff, because I don't think you're going to really get better to fold out. And then, you know, if he does come with call here, I mean, the river's going to be a decision point if Laplante bets, and look at that, he gives it up. So, I mean, I don't think that that's a tight fold or a bad fold. You know, that type of board, it's going to very much favor Laplante there, having came in with a raise under the gun, and your hand is extremely static. You know, even if, let's say, you drill a 9 on the river, you can still be behind the ace-king, ace-queen, queens, aces, kings, all those hands, you know, have you beat. Aggression pays. Aggression pays.
So Laplante, again, with another win. Pretty much unstoppable for now.
She comes in with the raise under the gun. Queen 4 suited, probably in there. Queen 4 off, just not good enough. Still just sitting tight over there is Evan Sandberg. Not really much he's been able to do. He's got 9.4 big blinds. Will be in the big blind next hand. Another raisable one here for Wiegmann. He's been, I think, the most active player so far. I mean, Laplante certainly has been in there a fair amount. So has Victor Shih, but I want to say Wiegmann has edged them in terms of the aggression factor here. And the Laplante's got a spot for a 3-bet. Ace-3 suited. Button versus small blind.
Just makes the call for 225.
Let's see if she wants to come in. Queen 9 off. Getting a good price here with Laplante calling from the small.
Raise.
I was gonna say it looked like he's about to say a larger sizing.
Gonna raise 1 million.
Do you like this from Shih?
Yeah, I think I definitely would have thought for sure like a Queen 10 can come in with a 3-bet, you know, blocking 2 of the Broadway hands or Broadway combos. Queen 9 though, I mean, it's one of those hands offsuit where if you end up taking it multi-way, maybe it's not the best. Maybe you get into some trouble, so just throw it into that 3-bet bucket. That queen does slide in there fairly nicely, you know, blocking some of the better hands that Wiegmann can come with. Also, you're blocking some of the hands that Laplante might flat from the small blind there. You know, the king queen suited, queen jack suited, queen 10 suited, stuff like that. So yeah, I like it. He's back up over 5.2 now. Wiegmann just, I mean, this guy's in every hand. Not that you could fault him. He's had playable hands every time, and here he's got ace king. He's in there once again. Sandberg finds a jack 9. Started this hand with 9.4 bigs. Had to post the big blind ante, so there goes 1. Had to post the big blind, so there goes another. Could see him just, you know, stick in that extra 100K here, try and drill something, and then go from there. And he does just that. 10-7 deuce, couple of hearts. 1 over to the board and a gutter for Sandberg.
Can we get like a waitress in here?
Can we get a waitress?
Wiegmann is in the tank here trying to decide what he can do, if he's going to bet, what's my sizing. These spots are oftentimes not fun and pretty tricky, especially without a heart in your hand.
Bet 175.
See if Sandberg decides to just come with this. I don't think you want to just call. Do you still think that you have any sort of fold equity? Okay, he does give it up. Well done there by Wiegmann. Must be the hat, the new hat. That's it, the Venetian hat. These 5 players guaranteed 48. This pay jump that they're on is right around 16K. So 10 buy-ins. And Sandberg's all in. Gets it through.
Can I get a green tea?
Decent pickup from him, but he's still short.
I think I can get a Perrier. Yes, please. The straw.
Shih Jack-8 suited here might be enough to raise. He is the chip leader, so can just kind of leverage his position.
210.
Oh, and look at this. Stavia finds ace-king of diamonds. He was tied for the lead not too long ago. Surrendered quite a few chips already, but this a chance to get some back.
Yeah, 3-bet coming for sure. Let's see what he sizes it as. Both these players are the 2 deepest at the table, so 40, just about 44 big blinds effective. Playing Stavia stack between these two. Of course, you still have Wiegmann in the big blind there with 30 bigs.
And out of position here, Stavia's gonna crank it up a little bit. 750 is a 3-bet. Easy fold there from Shih.
Having played with Shih a bit around town, it's always a pleasure that he always acts very quickly.
Right.
Like if he goes into the tank, you generally know that it's a pretty important decision. You know, he usually makes up his mind fairly quickly, which is, you know, it's nice to see.
All right, chat, let us know if you're rooting for any player in particular, perhaps friend or a family member. We'd love to hear from you. And if you're catching us anywhere else but the Venetian Poker Live channel, please come and find us there as well. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and you'll stay in the know on all that we have going on there as far as clips, highlights, and of course, future live streams. Shih back to raising, makes it 210. Stavia finds kings on the button this time. Can, of course, go a little bit smaller because he's in position. Goes up to 600,000.
Yeah,
LaPlante.
last hand he went to 760, 750, something like that. And then, as you mentioned, a little smaller for the imposition here.
LaPlante seems interested, but ace-8 was likely never going to be in play here. And
Whoa.
here goes Shih, also with the quick fold. And Stavia wins back-to-back hands, but given the strength of his hands, he would have probably wanted a little bit more action than just winning the hand pre-flop.
Yeah, and table swing. Break this.
I believe I read on Stavia's bio sheet, number 3 on Moldova's all-time money list.
Wow. Can you name the other two?
No shot. I feel like you might be able to name one.
I was-
only because you're, I'll say ex-European.
I might recognize the names. Oh, yeah. Pavel Plesov is number 1.
Oh, there you go.
You know him.
Yeah.
World Poker Tour regular, also a WSB bracelet winner.
Who's 2?
Dragos Trofimov,
Have never heard that name until right now.
not too
But it
familiar.
obviously crushed.
And yeah, you pull up his bio and you just see a long list of caches. You know that it's legit.
Still playing 50,000, 100,000 here, and once again, Evan Sandberg's in the big blind. I feel like things are. I feel like the pace is pretty nice.
Yes.
You know, I mean, it's probably not as nice if you're Evan Sandberg because these blinds continue to hit you and you're trying to maneuver this sub 10 big blind stack. But we're moving along, you know, and without a clock and time extensions and all of that in play at these final tables, it's good. You know, there's not too much tanking. I know we've had some longer hands, but understandably so given those decisions. But you know, things are moving.
Seeing lots of love for LaPlante, for Shih in the chat. Victor has some fans. So does Sandberg. Stavia raising it up to 225 here. Gets over to Sandberg in the big blind with queen 3 of clubs. Might we peel? Yes, we will. Sandberg is going to make the call, see a flop, hoping for something with a bit of connectivity to get his chips in the middle. And we flop a flush. Holy moly. 8-6-7. Sandberg flops a queen-high flush. Stavia, let it be known, can still do one better with the 9 of clubs.
Yeah, Sandberg here just, I mean, try and contain your excitement inside. Can already feel the double up coming. Obviously, you know, you can be over flushed, yes, but unlikely so.
Sandberg peels from the big blind, flops the goods, and now, of course, looking to get the money in, and there we go. Stavia makes it very easy. A bet and a call, and Evan Sandberg's tournament life is on the line. You see it in the top left-hand corner of your screen. 1 out. Just 1 out. Sandberg has to dodge, so he is very comfortable here, looking for a double up.
I feel like we're due for a straight flush. We've done enough of these streams now. I feel like we're due for a straight flush, right? I mean,
If you have to go out, might as well be doing 1 outer.
Yeah.
All right, Sandberg, be careful what you wish for. Turn and river still to come. Is Stavia going to find the miracle? Turn card is the 8 of spades. So far, so good. Stavia just needs to fade that 1 card that would make this room erupt. River card. It's the 9 of clubs!
my God.
Oh my God! Sandberg said it himself. If I go out, it might as well be against the straight flush.
He kind of willed it into existence.
I mean, this is his own fault.
They're gonna see it in an hour.
Oh shit, that is so dirty.
Straight flush for Stavia.
How could you?
1 single out in the entire deck. 1 out.
You should have done the prepay. I was
1 out.
thinking,
This
I
wasn't
was
like
gonna do it
open-ended,
earlier,
this,
get
that, and the other. No, 1 card.
Thank you.
Bang.
What the heck?
Evan Sandberg heads to the rail. in the most dramatic of ways.
Talk about way to lose.
Collecting $48,000 for his 5th place finish. And Stavia back in the chip lead. He is up over 6 million chips.
Yeah, $48,000 story for Evan Sandberg there. It's okay. We caught it on tape. Everyone will believe you when you go home, when you're texting your friends, whatever it may be. You guys won't believe it. It was actually a one-outer. I'm not exaggerating. It was a one-outer. Check the tape. Look at the film. There it is. Boom. 9 of
You guys all have
clubs.
like 5, right?
Huh?
You guys all have like 5 or what?
Ish. Yeah, I got like 4 point something.
I have 4.
5 something, 5 something.
3, 4.
So that's how you get to be number 3 on Moldova's all-time money list,
4.8.
right? You just drill one-outers?
Oh my God.
And I have 399.
Here's a look at the trophy that might be headed towards Stavia.
2.5.
Action folds around to Stavia with King 8 of clubs. Ace 9 of diamonds for Wiegmann. We're going to get right back into it. Let's see if he wants to charge a little bit more here to see a flop. Looking back through the chat as that 1 hour hit. Absolutely amazing response from the chat. Lots of people calling it a nasty game. Poker be like that sometimes. Justin D says, I want to throw up for that dude.
Okay, I think we fixed the Nightbot situation.
Donnie has...
It defaults puts all these settings on. Like
yeah, you got to just keep it under control. The AI is trying to take over the world, Donnie.
Yeah, whatever.
Wiegmann flops top pair with the nut flush draw. Let's see if Stavia wants to stay involved here.
Does call. Was a pretty small bet. Nice turn card here for Wiegmann. Flush comes in. No 1 outer available for Stavia on this one, so he's gonna have to just cut his losses here.
And Wiegmann, having hit the nut flush, decides to check back in hopes of charging something on the river.
Yeah, maybe Stavia bluffs this one. I know he doesn't have any diamonds. Not really sure how you feel about king high as showdown value when there's 4 diamonds out there. I mean, but the pot's worth fighting for, over $1 million. So, you know, do you try and rep a diamond here? And if you do, I mean, what's your sizing? Because we know whatever he bets is going to be lost if he does come with a bet. And he's going to his chips.
Wow. Perfect setup from Wiegmann as Stavia leads for 225. The chat, by the way, Donnie, blaming you because you called for the 9 of clubs.
Why did I call for the 9 of clubs? Sandberg called for the 9 of clubs.
Flamingo said Donnie asked for the straight flush. You kind of did.
Whatever. I'm allowed to do that.
I love it.
I'm a fan like everyone else. I just want to see the fireworks, baby.
When people ask me, like, who do you root for when you do commentary? I always say, I root for the drama.
Yeah, I root for the content. Whatever's going to give the best content is what we're rooting for here.
Wiegmann looking for an additional payout. Makes it 1.1 million, and Stavia will quickly realize that his timing might have been a bit off here. Stavia perhaps saving some face here, Donnie, or do we have underlying history that leads us to think that something else might be possible?
Something else is always possible, but I think this is more a little bit of posturing here. I can't imagine him coming with anything else here.
All right, Stavia does let it go, and Wiegmann rakes in this one. Shout out to everyone watching right now. Appreciate you all for hanging out. Please smash that like button and subscribe to the Venetian Poker
thanks,
Live
Sonny.
YouTube
Thanks,
channel,
Sonny.
as well, of course, as the PokerGO one. It's a lovely Sunday in Las Vegas. We're happy to provide you this coverage from the Venetian Poker Room on level 2 at the Palazzo Grand Canal Shops. And I'm saying that specifically so that you know where to go. Blinds now up, 60K, 120K. Math getting a little bit more difficult to figure out those big blinds. Actually folds to Wiegmann in the small blind. Stacks all so close together now. This really is anyone's game. Wiegmann on the offensive here, going after Laplante's big blinds. Oh,
Okay.
and Laplante finds 2 queens, which explains his intense posture here.
It's getting out more than 380, I'll tell you that much. Here we go.
What is it? 820?
820.
Raised to 820. Action back on Wiegmann.
So 29 bigs here to start the hand for Wiegmann.
It sounds crazy to say, but Wiegmann is the short stack, Don.
Yeah, no, I know.
Is there a case to be made for aggression here to Laplante?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Oh, there we go. Aggression is here. Wiegmann jams ace-jack. Laplante snaps it off with queens. And we have another massive hand unfolding here at the Card Player Poker Tour main event final table. We're not even an hour into this stream yet, and we've seen so many crazy hands. Someone must be making a royal flush right now. I don't know. I'm just saying. Wiegmann's tournament life on the line, but if Laplante loses this, he's going to be left with just a couple big blinds, so massive implications here.
Better having ace jack than ace queen.
Wiegmann looking for an ace, a straight, a flush. There are still some options here, but he is the underdog. Ace on the flop for Wiegmann right away, and Laplante's queens shrink down as he looks
Ace queen, then ace jack.
for one of the 2 remaining queens here.
Yep.
Anyone fold a queen?
7 million in the middle.
One out's all you need.
Apparently. But Tony's not in here.
Turn card is the 10 of spades.
Good. Wen's got me.
Laplante only 5% now to win this hand. Biggest pot of the day, and a king hits on the river. No queen for Laplante, and look at that. He is moving almost all of his chips forward as Wiegmann receives a monster double up. Goes from short stack to chip leader. Laplante down to just a few big blinds.
pretty unavoidable there given the stack sizes and an ace from space. Cody Wiegmann gets lucky there.
3.4.
I love that. Laplante said 1 out is all you need.
Like before the hand, I was.
Yeah,
He had 2.
He had double.
Double. He had 100% more chances.
Two. No, this is 2.
Yeah.
3.3.
This is 2 million.
3.4. 3, 4.
2.5. What is?
Yeah.
Wait, so this is 3, 3.2, 3.3, 3.4, 3.4 plus that?
Yeah.
Derek
3.4,
LaPlante in the chat says, well, that's annoying. Oh,
Very.
man, I feel you.
3.4.
If you're in the LaPlante camp, that is very, very annoying.
3.5.
Dream spot,
3.5.
and it just all goes
No,
wrong
3.4.
with one flop.
3.435.
Yes.
3.435 is a winning hand.
Yep, that's good right here.
So there's 2.
Just like that, Wiegmann goes from worst to first.
I mean,
he was the short stack to start that hand. He was still 29, 30 big blinds deep, but
if I'm Wiegmann, I'm taking a screenshot of my stack size right now, and I'm just like putting it all over social media because 6.99 million is quite the stack. Very nice, very nice. Nerd Watcher says, "Let's go, Cody." Mr. Wiegmann in charge right now. Wiegmann is going to use this whole hand to align and stack his chips because look at the pile that he's working with here. Right back to it here, pocket eights.
I mean, independent of him picking up a hand here to raise, given where LaPlante is in chips, and this chip lead now for Wiegmann, and he can just get crazy aggressive, and this is going in for LaPlante, of course.
Sort of like a best case scenario here for LaPlante, finding suited Broadway cards when you're down to basically 4 big blinds.
All in.
And here we go. Wiegmann gets a little bit of extra chips here in the middle, and we got a coin flip on our hands. LaPlante 50% to double up and get back into this battle. It all starts with the first double up. Can LaPlante find it?
They're trying to get us in and out of here.
Yeah.
Players doing their part in making this an entertaining final table, and the cards are playing along. Let's see if LaPlante can get some help here on the flop. Wow, 8-7-4 top set for Wiegmann.
Good game.
And look at LaPlante already announcing good game, getting up from the table.
At least a 10.
Perhaps. Yeah, grab the back for some run good.
Okay, okay.
9 of spades. Okay, we're alive.
Remember, you only need one.
I
Only
mean,
one out. That's
he's
all
got-
you need.
He's got 3 outs. 10 of diamonds is gone, but he's got 3 outs. Ryan LaPlante is not gone yet. River card. Oh! Sit back down, sir. Sit back down. Ryan
I was
LaPlante
like, I had a 10 in my hand too. It's not coming.
goes runner, and makes a straight.
It's 435, right?
And we are still four-handed.
I don't know. We wouldn't be able to get like a break.
We've had some
How much
great
is it?
rivers today. Oh, baby. Oh,
You
baby.
gotta believe it.
I'll take a final table like this.
I was already
All
halfway
day,
home,
any
about to start
day.
my online
Straight
session.
flush, one outer
You really gonna
earlier.
go play online after this?
Here,
Oh, shit.
runner,
I gotta
runner
fire
after
off
your
the
opponent
fire.
flops top set. I mean, what a day of poker.
WSOP has 2 series running right now.
They
Last
do,
game
they
played
do.
Global. I'm gonna play like 5 game binds online. Yeah, not that much. 14.
You get a lot of quads out of this game?
A lot of quads.
Quads with the pocket three?
What's funny is during one of my last online sessions, buddy of mine was telling me about how many times he had seen quads.
No,
And
I was
liter-
talking about that with Holtz like yesterday, the day before. He was telling
And
me
then
his theories.
literally, like 20 minutes later, I hit quads for someone and then lost for someone's quads. It was ridiculous. I mean, one wasn't on WSOP, but I just thought it was a little funny.
Raised.
So 240.
Wiegmann not going to back down. Right back to work. Queen 9 off, and he's in there with a raise. LaPlante does have a little bit of breathing room now. About 9.5 bigs or so for him. You know, not the deepest, but some maneuverability. Got an ace here for Stavia in the big blind.
UFC Wiegmann in the Venetian Poker live chat says, once he stood up, he should have known he was winning. Next time I'm all in, Donnie, I'm going to walk out the door, validate my parking, and get the car.
Oh, yeah. Got to pull out all the stops, baby. 3-bet here from Stavia, just looking to apply pressure, fight back against the big chip leader.
I'm gonna fold. I'm just looking how much chips you have.
It's looking like it's well timed, and it is. Well done.
Brent in the chat says, craziest FT I've ever seen. Whoa. Yeah, we're still four-handed, so who knows what's still to come here. S. Dean says, they try to knock Laplante down, but they cannot.
Oh, sorry.
So far, he's
Didn't count today.
staying in the game. Queen Jack, might as well try again.
And notice he does come with the non-all-in raise here. Wiegmann with King 5 off in the big. Could certainly afford to flick in a call, but this, the non-all-in raise looks pretty strong from your opponent. So do you want to play a rather disconnected hand? He does not. And look at Laplante climbing up over 1.4.
Yeah, don't blink too many times because Laplante knows the drill. He's been in situations like this probably a million times, so he'll just keep chipping away at things.
Yeah, 1.2.
1.315 in total. Okay.
We always get handed the bio sheets of these players prior to action getting underway, and I always love to touch on what players' plans are for the prize money. Ryan Laplante, being the true professional, left it blank. Come on, Ryan. You must have some purpose for this cash.
You're like
Victor Shih, this is a funny one. He says, all in, Warriors, NBA champs. Why are you wearing a Lakers jersey?
And there's no shot that
I
that's
just didn't
happening.
have to look at the second one.
Those odds must
I
still
was
be
just
pretty
hoping
good.
I wasn't dominated if I was called.
Why does that matter?
Cody Wiegmann on your
Doesn't
screen
have to
right
be
now.
flipping.
He wants to invest. Maybe he should just invest in his poker game because he's clearly doing something right here as we get a little close-up of the trophy. And then last but not least, Stavia wants to fire more bullets in big tournaments and then travel to fly to Moldova to visit family. Let us know in the chat what you would do with a massive poker score. Donnie, take me back. You've had scores in your life. What is a memory of something you did or bought from a big poker score?
Nothing.
Damn.
I'm in the boring camp, man. I mean, I hate to be a Debbie Downer over here, but one, my scores have yet to be big enough that I would just fire off and say, here, I'll say this. It's not necessarily from my poker play. We won 25K fantasy.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, used it to pay for our car.
Oh well,
We bought a Tesla.
that is a great way to spend it.
So there you go. We were on the fence. My wife was certainly convincing me that we should get a Tesla, and I was, going back and forth, this, that, and the other thing. Then we won, and I was like, all right, F it. We're in. Let's go.
10, 9, 7 on the flop here. Open-ended for Shih. I think I was like 19 or 18 way back when. I had my first score online, and I told my dad that I want some money, and I said, we're going skiing. So I paid for a trip to Austria, was living in the Netherlands at the time. I flew him in because I was already there. Went for a week of snowboarding and skiing. Best way to spend your money on fun experiences. 660 in the middle. She checks again. And the 6 of clubs on the river gives Shih a straight.
Yeah, Shih gonna want to bet his hand here.
Bet 180.
She goes small, bets 180, hoping to find a light call, but Wiegmann doesn't have it, lets it go. Rebel Poker says my biggest cash was 5,200 with a sad face emoji. Well, that's still good money. Parlay that into something bigger.
Yeah, if you don't want it, I'll give you my Venmo and you can fire that 5,200 over.
Mr. Dad says I quit my real job. Well, that's a leap. I respect it.
Well, how big was the score that you're quitting jobs?
Must have been a big one.
Yeah.
Haterade says parlayed that to several WSOP events. Okay.
There you go. Spin it up.
I always say this, Donnie. Every tournament is a satellite.
For sure.
For
sure.
Let's see what we got here. Dee says, bought my dad a Rolex.
Okay.
That must have been a nice score.
Stavia gets a walk on that one. I think that's our second walk of this final table.
Michael Manson says, I retired at 58, 62 now, and I have done all my bucket lists except the Alaskan cruise. Well, I'm sure you're in the process of making that happen, so let us know how it was. Action on Laplante with a6 off. Ranges, of course, changing dramatically as we are playing four-handed.
Right to 250.
Given the stack depth of Laplante, do we have to make a lot of adjustments if we're Stavia in a situation like this, where King Nine of Clubs looks enticing, but it might be harder to play?
Yeah, I mean, one, you don't want to go too crazy against Wiegmann, for example, or even Shih, because he's got a lot of chips
like
because of
1.1, right?
the stack size of
1.11
Laplante. There, you know, a King Nine of Clubs can look enticing, but you got to look at Laplante, who's pretty short, and again, coming with a non-all-in raise under the gun. So at least showing like he's got some strength there. This is some very good and creative maneuverability out of Laplante. You know, both earlier with the Queen Jack, here with the Ace-6. You know, four-handed. It's going to be hard for people to really pick up some hands. So even super short like this, leveraging those hands that have the good blocker properties. The Queen Jack, you know, blocks a lot of Broadway combinations for your opponent. There, having an ace is a very good card to have.
If you're just tuning in, this is Venetian Poker Live, the final table of the Card Player Poker Tour main event. There was $1 million guaranteed prize pool, $167,000 up top for the winner off a $1,600 buy-in. So that is quite the ROI if you manage to take it down. We are live on PokerGo on YouTube and also on the Venetian Poker Live YouTube channel. It's a brand new channel. Please go and support us and them. Wiegmann makes quick work of this King Deuce and moves all in. But yeah, find us. Click click on the pinned message in the PokerGo YouTube
I
chat
had one high card.
and subscribe to the Venetian Poker Live channel. Do us a huge favor by growing that community. Big Star says, fun final table. Indeed, you are correct. This is a very good final table.
What tournament's even going on today at the Venetian? I saw like Francis
It was
rolling
a
around out there.
600 one day.
600 deep
600
stack.
daily. Yeah.
Okay.
Action don't stop over here.
Heck no.
Never stops.
I got here at like 11 o'clock. There was, I don't know, 10, 12 tables in play already. I was like, poker players don't sleep, especially on Sundays.
Oh, Sunday's such a good day.
Stavia with a raise, and does Wiegmann want to fight and put the pressure on again, knowing Laplante is so short there? I love it. I love it.
This is 660.
Wiegmann comes over the top to 660. Applying that pressure in position. Besides hitting a straight flush, Stavia has been under a lot of pressure. But he probably won't complain. 5.6 million in front of him. Stavia looking down at his chips. We're going to see some action here. Oh, baby. Gotta love it. Comes with the 4-bet.
So it's at 1.2.
It's 1.24.
1.240.
1.24 is the 4-bet from Stavia. Wiegmann doesn't break his focus.
Do you have more big chips behind that? Just those
Oh.
two.
Those are fighting words from Wiegmann.
I would be curious to know what Wiegmann thinks of the timing there, because it was a pretty quick 4-bet, and we've seen some longer, drawn-out thought processes from Stavia. So, does he read into this as he just kind of decided that he's snap 4-betting me, given the dynamics of the situation with kind of anything, or is he just
Break after this.
so strong that he's also 4-betting fast?
Yeah, because we did a. that
I would
partial.
lean that it's the former, because when you have a very good premium hand, I feel like you think about your sizing a little bit more just to really dial it in.
Well, Wiegmann is certainly given this thought, but ultimately lets it go. Nice pickup from
I show deuce.
Stavia.
That would be crazy.
Oh, you should have showed an ace.
Crazy. but
Or an 8,
possible.
sorry.
I felt like you were bluffing.
Well, I want to see a deuce.
Big hands at this final table. A lot of naturals.
Jack 10 suited here for Wiegmann. Would expect him to come in once again. He has slipped out of the chip lead. He was up to 6.99 million, so just about touched 7 million. It's been a slide the other direction since then. Stavia now the chip leader with over 6.6.
Should have just cashed out.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I always wish I do in tournaments.
Wiegmann comes with 240, and now she in the small blind. Ace Jack of Hearts. She just makes the call. Do you think she calling here has something to do with Laplante's stack?
Yes, and also, you know, the suited hands like this, king, queen suited, ace, jack suited, ace, 10 suited. When they're suited, they have a little bit more playability post flop, so you don't mind going post as much as you would with an offsuit combination. Offsuit combination, you kind of just want to win it pre-flop in a lot of ways. So like an ace jack off, he probably 3-bets. Ace jack suited, he comes in with just a call. And then throw that in the combination with Laplante being so short, not just wanting to just go too crazy.
Laplante, only one not involved in this hand. 2 quick checks to the initial raiser.
They are operating on a $23,000 pay jump right now, so quite beefy. Everyone's guaranteed 64-4, and third place is 87-4. Wiegmann's going to bet this one. Small sizing here, 180. For this sizing, I think you have to at least peel. Yeah, I mean, you have the backdoor hearts, you have Broadway. Both are, you know, they give you nut backdoors, so your hand can also be good. You could have maybe an ace or jack is good.
Let's see a turn card here, and it is the ace of clubs.
There you go.
Things swinging in Shih's favor.
Check.
Again, comes with the check, and you know, for Wiegmann, kind of an obvious card to slow down on. Not much to be gained from betting here.
Yeah, I think if he just had an air ball, he might come betting here, try and rep this hand. But given that he does have that 10, he has the jack for the gutter as well. Probably just a check back spot here now. That said, you know, he has leaned to take an aggressive line at times so far at this final table. So I wouldn't be completely surprised if he bet. I just lean that he's going to check it back, but you never know, of course. He was the pre-flop raiser. He did bet in a multi-way pot, so he can have some good premium combos, and he's going to take the aggressive approach.
Wow, so Wiegmann does go for it, bet 750. She improves to top pair and is now faced with a large bet out of position. What are we concerned with here? Or are we not at all?
If you're Shih?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the two-pair combinations, King 10, Ace King, I mean, even pocket 5s, I think can be in there, pocket 10s too, for sets. I mean, I guess he could have kings as well if you're going to include 10s and 5s, yes. But, yeah, he can have all that, you know, especially because he did bet multi-way. There's probably some queen jack in there, maybe a little bit discounted because you block a queen jack.
And alarm bells must be going off over at Wiegmann's because she makes the call to create a pot worth 2.7 million. And a queen of hearts hits on the river. The hands just keep getting better and better. But this one will result in a chop. Both players with the nuts. Let's see how much posturing we'll see before the chips end up in the middle here.
I know he's not showing it, but a little sigh of relief here for Wiegmann. You know, he does come in with the straight. Ultimately, we can see that it's chopped, yes, but he's also like, thank God I didn't have to fire another barrel with just my pair of 10s, try and get something to fold. But he could just ask for it all here. You know, it would be a little bit of an overbet, yes, given the stack size of Shih, but not out of the realm of possibility. Can get as greedy as possible. I think he's probably open to a lot of different bet sizes.
It's funny.
Maybe something like $1 million, you know, try and get called.
It's funny seeing them put so much thought into this, knowing that they both have the nuts.
Bet 900.
Yeah, no flush draw on board, no pair on board, so she's just going to come with a raise here. Maybe milk it a little bit, and then come with the raise.
All in.
She moves all in.
Guessing hand.
Call has been made, and
Not quite the same.
not quite the same hand, but the same combination here on the river, and that was a lot of stress, effort, and adrenaline to end us back at square one.
80% top. It's a fun spot.
I was kind of I planned a triple and then I was second guessing myself and I was like, why am I bluffing this hand? I could bluff other hands, but I mean, I guess.
Fun hand to bluff. Fun hand to
I mean, that thought process
Yeah, I
makes a
felt
lot
like
of sense.
chill about
I
it.
thought
had
he
the
would check
diamonds,
back
especially
turn.
with the suits on the board and everything. And I don't know. I'm also just felt like it.
Sometimes you just feel like unloading.
Yeah.
You know, you feel like just going for it. I mean,
River would
whatever.
be tough if you triple it off on a break.
Got one of the best hands to call it.
We're both sitting here like, wow, what a river.
Just tuning in, we are live from Venetian Resort in Las Vegas. To be exact, this is the studio at the Venetian Poker Room. Level 2 of the Palazzo. In case you're looking to stop by, get into the action. There's some dailies going on. There's cash games running. Sunday, probably the best day to play some cards.
Raise.
And she finds jacks on the very next hand and raises it up.
260.
Stavia with a nice one in the small blind here.
He's been aggressive. He is the chip leader. This is a button raise.
Call.
Would expect him to be playing this, and he does. Comes with call.
Wiegmann lets go of 10-9 off. We're going to see heads-up action here between Stavia and Shih. Here's the flop. Jack 7-3, rainbow.
Check.
Top set for Shih. It's always fun trying to think of what your opponent can have that can bring you some additional profits. And when you flop top set, those options will be limited.
Anyone know what time it is? You have a watch on?
Hey, I do have a bunch.
135.
No, she did. I didn't realize
I
you
did
did.
too.
You also have one.
It's 135? Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
mine's an hour ahead of time.
Bet 180.
How do you feel about Shih betting this out right away, knowing that it might be tough for Stavia to have something here?
I think it's fine. I'm more looking at the fact that it took him a long time to bet. And he acts generally pretty quick, so does that give off any sort of alarm bells in one direction or another? I think he's probably going to be betting a fair bit on this board four-handed in position, so I think the bet is fine.
It's also proof that I know nothing, because with ace-9 of spades, Stavia comes along, doesn't give Shih the credit.
Small bet, you know, your ace high can be good. I think Stavia has shown that he's fairly sticky, probably the stickiest of the bunch. It's now time to ask for more.
Bet 700.
Nothing there for Stavia.
All right, so Shih gets to chip up, bringing the stacks at the top of the counts even closer together. It is the haves and the have-not. Ryan Laplante still searching for another double up after that miracle river card that saved him not too long ago.
That $600 monster stack that you mentioned, 50K guarantee, still more than 2 hours left of registration.
Oh,
they're already over 100 entries, just hit
go.
110. So if you're in town, if you're bored looking for something to do,
990 in total.
there's a pretty juicy tournament
Absolutely.
happening here at Venetian.
770.
Why don't we tag team, Donnie?
Just go run out there, play a rotation, come back in.
You do an orbit, then I'll do an orbit.
I'm down.
Action on Stavia with 8-7 of clubs. Once again, a reminder here that you can follow, subscribe to the Venetian Poker Live channel on both Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. We're going to have tons of daily content going out, as well as multiple live streams a week. Jay is asking, is this live? Yes, we are as live as can be. Just, of course, on the standard delay.
Stavia gets that one through. Back up over 6 million for him. Laplante is trending towards critical right now. 870 for him. Going to really need to make something happen soon. After that big old hand he played with Cody Wiegmann, he was down to just over 400K at 120 big blind. So he's been shorter. He fought back. He got that miracle double that Remco was talking about, runner straight against top set. And here, Queen Jack O, small blind. All you can eat. Here we go.
All in.
Laplante jams from the small blinds.
Nope.
It's the least he can do to keep his stack around the same point. News, was this News Tale says, how come she gets to sit next to the trophy? Yeah, I feel as though it needs to be like, you know, when you play with a kill.
150, yeah.
If you win 2 hands in a row, you get the trophy. Might be a little bit annoying logistically to keep passing that thing around, but she has definitely gotten a taste for it now, sitting right next to it. I do love having a trophy on the table. It sort of keeps you focused on what's at stake here. The only thing that would make it even better if they just filled the whole thing with cash. Like rolls of cash, you know? Just like fill in the whole thing.
I'm in.
Wiegmann with ace-10 makes it 300K, and Stavia defending from the big blind. 9-8-3, 2 hearts. Gut shot here for Stavia. He's going to check. Stack still plenty deep here with the exception of Laplante. Wiegmann bets 250. Action back on the Moldovan pro. Four of hearts hits on the turn. Stavia now open-ended. Wiegmann picks the nut flush draw. Now, for those that get into these spots, should this situation, right, where the where you hold the ace of hearts. The third heart comes on the turn. Should that lean you more towards realizing the equity, checking behind, trying to hope you hit your hand? Or is it more so a good semi-bluff opportunity?
Probably realize the equity, to be honest. I think you see a little bit more of that now. Wiegmann doesn't opt to fire at it. The ace high just a little bit too good for showdown. Seven four suited from the small for Stavia.
To
480.
480.
Ace ten of diamonds for Stavia. Guy's picking up some hands recently. His turn to get a little rush, I guess.
At 330.
By the way, we're playing 75K, 150K right now, so the price of poker has gone up again. Wiegmann in the small blind on 4.4 million.
What you do have? You have like,
I think I started with around 6.5.
okay, yeah, that's good.
And look at that, Wiegmann lets it go. Are you surprised to see him fold A7 suited there?
I wouldn't say surprised. I did think he would. At first, I thought he might call. Then when he asked how many chips he had, I thought, okay, raise is going to happen. Then he ultimately folded. So, yeah, I guess, you know, I thought he was going to get in there to some extent. I mean, you pick up a suited ace, four-handed ace.
Can I put the cards here? Or
You're kind of feeling good, right? I mean,
Whatever seat you started in, probably.
Yeah, wherever you
Yeah.
started.
Assuming that's
there.
where your graphic is or some shit.
over there. That spot for sure. Yeah.
Don't mess with the graphics, sir. Understandably, Stavia generating a bit more legroom for himself. And he's in a nice spot here. Gets to stare down all three of his opponents from his side of the table. He makes it 300K. Laplante in the small blind with King Jack. Laplante has 8-10 left, and he's going to come with the 3-bet, leaving himself with very little behind.
675.
okay, what's he got back? 125 or so?
Yeah, it looks like it. 135, perhaps. Laplante makes it 675. Stavia looking down at ace-4.
I mean, it's not fun, but I think in ace here, after you already raise, him being so short, probably just come with it. There's enough king, jack, king, queens of the world.
And instead of jamming, Stavia makes the call. And we've seen this show many times before, where one player has very little chips left behind. Laplante with less than a big blind left to play.
Oh,
King 10-3, all hearts. Laplante moves all in. And Stavia, with the 4 of hearts, looks to make a flush or hit an ace.
And even, I guess.
And Laplante finds a very nice flop for himself here. 1.9 million in the middle.
Oh, yeah, somebody else.
Ryan Laplante, a very accomplished player. His opponents would hate to see him pick up some serious chips here. Laplante looking to fade. 10 cards twice. Can his king jack hold up? Turn card is the ace of hearts. A dagger in the heart of Ryan Laplante.
Great game.
It's just all of it. It's an ace. It's a heart. It's I mean, it doesn't matter. Whatever way you slice it, Laplante's out the door.
All right, Ryan Laplante busts out in 4th place. Despite some hopes of a comeback, he does depart in 4th, takes home $64,499.
You are?
I don't believe you. Kind of do though.
Well, I got more heart than that, dude.
Final 3 guaranteed, $87,000.
I would jump into 600 right here, max it.
There's 0 chance I'm playing the tournament.
120K for second, 167 for first. The pay jumps
No,
on
no,
the
no.
line.
I'm
You're small blind,
Yeah.
And
it's
Stavia,
You basically.
the assassin at this table so far.
And for Laplante, thoughts of what could have been when he got the queens in, looking great against Wiegmann's ace-jack, but of course the poker gods had other things in mind with an ace on the flop and no help for those queens.
like
That left
4.2 or
Laplante
something.
very short. He
I can just do
did
the
fight
math.
back
4.3.
pretty valiantly,
So I know how much
got
he
a
has.
double,
He has his coverage.
stayed in the game with some
Yeah.
raises, was able to fade the blinds here and there, but ultimately
cover me.
done in with a dagger of a turn card there against Stavia. Action here on Shih. Small blind facing the chip leader's big blind. So $33,000 pay jump now. Stavia well out in front. The other two players are right next to one another, so
Okay.
Within a couple
Under 5.
hundred, within 100 couple.
this could provide some interesting proceedings. You know, Stavia has certainly been willing to get after it at times. I think most notably you had that
Yeah.
4-bet with the king 8 suited. Ace 8-6 here, 2 pair for Stavia. Not much there at all for Shih. A couple backdoors, queen high. Does come with check.
Okay, 150.
150 and a quick fold from Shih. The rich get richer here. Chip leader extends. So we got 87,400 guaranteed for these 3 players. 120,000 is second, and then up top, $167,000. 588 entries in this Card Player Poker Tour $1,600 buy-in main event. Nine 4 off here for Stavia in the small blind. Comes with the call, and there's an ace for Wiegmann in the big blind. He checks his option. King, queen, 9 here. Check, check through to 10 on the turn. Check, check again. Stavia's still best here with his pair of 9s. 8 on the river. Not sure anyone's going to be betting at this board.
Okay, 150.
Never mind. 150 minimum bet here from Stavia. Wegman gives it up. I know Remco earlier talked about how there will be select final tables, you know, probably about twice a month, live streamed here from Venetian on the Venetian Poker Live YouTube channel. Also, cash games is going to be happening twice a week, and those will be starting soon. But if you have aspirations of making one of these live streamed final tables, do know that the Venetian Deep Stack Showdown Poker Series starts February 24th. It runs through March 30th. There are 2 planned live streamed final tables from that series. First one is the $1,100 buy-in Ultimate Stack with a $500,000 prize pool guarantee. The event takes place March 1st through 5th, so then on March 5th will be the live stream final table. And then you have a $1,600 buy-in Ultimate Stack, $750K guarantee. That starts on March 8th, and then on March 12th will be the live streamed final table. So coming up in March here at Venetian.
So the 3-handed hands just go so quick.
It's pretty much every single month at Venetian. They have a really, really big series going on. So if tournaments are your jam, come check them out. And now with this new studio, you got a chance to be in front of the entire world. They can see how bad you play.
And then we get to say something about it. She limp again with a beautiful looking ace-4 of clubs.
Yeah, Stavia's got one of those hands where checking back kind of doesn't really achieve anything. You have the big stack, so just can really put in a raise here and start trying to take this one away from your opponent. I would imagine she just has a call here. It is that, and he'll go post.
Ace King 5 on the flop here. She well out in front.
Yeah, but this flop might lead to some more chips going in from Stavia. He was the pre-flop raiser, so has the big stack as well. Could lean to represent on this texture. Of course, we can see that his opponent has top pair. And there's going to be some, you know, ace-x in there for limp calls from Shih. There's also going to be some other hands like, I don't know, let's say the 10-9 suited of the world, 8-9 suited, stuff like that. And as long as those aren't hearts, Stavia should be able to get this one through, but he does not, of course.
And Stavia finds himself with 9 deuce offsuit on the turn and 1.5 million in the middle. At what point do you tell yourself, okay, let's just slow down, give up, surrender. There's no need to make this any more difficult than it is.
I would think now, with this turn card, pairing the board just doesn't really change much out there. I don't think this is the type of card that you can really represent here in this spot. Also, I mean, if your opponent has an ace, maybe even a king, I think it's going to be hard to get those hands to fold. Don't think you really want a heart in your hand. You almost want your opponent to be on draws that you could put pressure on. Another ace here comes on the river, so we have a full house for Shih.
Now, does the board development perhaps tempt Stavia to swing for it again here?
Yeah, it could. It's going to depend what Shih comes with. He's going to bet, though, so I think that'll ultimately end this one. But had he checked, yes, I think, you know, you're left there playing the board if you're Stavia.
And there it is, 9 deuce in the muck. Shih chips up some more. Jason Zembricki in the chat says, one day I'll get out to Vegas and play on one of these streams and get roasted for my donk play in this chat. Yeah, it's only right. It's only right. It's gotta open yourself up to the chat pros. Rite of passage. If you're enjoying the coverage, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. We're stoked to bring you this final table action on a Sunday from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada.
Also, Noah hasn't even been hinted at for a deal or anything like that. These guys are just here to play out. A week ago, the players got down to four-handed and started to discuss numbers. Actually, it was two different deals made at that final table. Here, you know, these guys, I feel like they're more seasoned in this particular setting, that they're willing to play for it all, essentially. Wiegmann's got a nice one here, a couple of jacks, and the chip leader raised on the button. Stavia made it 300. 3-bet coming here. Question is, how much?
Wiegmann makes it 900,000, and Stavia with king deuce has a way to bow out, save himself some.
Thank you.
Dealer switch here inside the Venetian Poker Live studio. Stavia still on top at 7.7 million, but it's anyone's game here with the blinds at 75K, 150. My name is Remco Rinkema, Donnie Peters alongside me, providing commentary at this final table.
Here we go. Ace king, baby. Let's go.
Drawing hand, Donnie. Now, let's not get too excited.
Yeah, but it's the best drawing hand.
Raise 330.
330 is the raise from Shih. Sadly, no takers for Shih.
Walk it out.
Players, of course, plenty deep here. No reason to take risks. No real short stack present right now. We could be 3 ways for a while.
I mean, at this stage, it's probably going to take a clash of 2 big hands. But that said, door is a little bit open for Stavia to just really start getting after it. You know, the other players haven't really shown, like, and understandably so, that they're going to do too much contesting with him. So might be a spot where he just looks to really ramp things up a bit and stretch out a big lead.
Wizardy walk. 2 in a row.
Lily Coletto on the rail here, watching the action. And this is a good reminder, when you come and play at Venetian, you get to watch the, you know, monkeys in the zoo.
Yeah.
The fish in the aquarium.
Yeah. The fish in the tank.
Don't tap the glass.
I mean, you could tap the glass for sure. I've done it.
It is really cool. This is all happening in the back of the Venetian poker room. And we have a hand here. Stavia with King Jack. Wegman looking at kings.
Yeah, I would imagine this is limp re-raise territory for Stavia.
Raise 475.
$475. The raise from Wiegmann and Stavia is going to make the call. Nine, 9, 3, 2 diamonds.
Okay.
Is Stavia just done with it right here? Is it just not worth it?
I mean, he's gotten sticky on some other flops. I could see him peeling one time. I mean, for example, remember he peeled that ace-9 with no flush draw, not even a backdoor flush draw. Now I know ace-high is a little bit more valuable than king-high, but still. And there is the stickiness. Sticky Stavia. This is his new nickname. I mean,
Now, with what intentions and plan do we do this? Are we doing this in hopes of Wiegmann slowing down? Are we doing this in hopes of a certain turn card that would, give us a chance to be aggressive? I always wonder about the game plan in situations like that.
I think in this specific spot, it's first and foremost, King Jack High has enough showdown value and probably enough equity to continue. Is your opponent going to be playing ace highs like this? Maybe he just checks back the ace highs, so you think your hand is good. If your king and your jack are
800,000.
the equity side of things, probably makes sense. Here, though, I mean, this turn, faced with another bet size, I think you're ultimately going to be giving this one up. But I think coming along on the flop is fine. I will say that I'm still surprised to see the approach pre-flop. I thought it would be a limp re-raise. I also wouldn't necessarily read into this thought here, or the length of deliberation, I should say, because Stavia's just been deliberate with pretty much every single action. So it's not necessarily that he's thinking long because he's going to possibly do something. I think he's just a deliberate player who likes to make sure he kind of double and triple checks everything in his mind before he continues.
Thank you.
And then I will bring up once again, the one time that he broke from the deliberation is when he did that 4-bet with the King-8, which I still just, for whatever reason, that's going to stick in my mind right now. Obviously, we're privy to the whole cards. These guys aren't. They don't have their phones. They're unaware of what's happening, so they can maybe check their phones on a break, but other than that, they're flying blind and need to figure things out as they would normally at a table.
Raise 300,000.
The beauty of three-handed poker, the fact that there's always the next hand to go after. If you're not raising your call, if you're not folding your three-betting, definitely one of the most fun spots to watch in live poker.
If your hand's good enough to call, you got to be in there raising.
Yep.
Wiegmann lost the hat. Was it bad luck? Did it turn? I mean,
he was doing quite all right.
he had the hat on when he hit the ace, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, you wear that hat till it falls off your head. King 7 suited here on the button. Would expect the raise. Also looks, it looks like Wiegmann's. I don't know. He kind of looks like he's lost a little pep in his step.
Raise 325.
Maybe he needs to pull in a big one. He just won that one with kings. Okay, this could be fun. Ace 10 suited for Shih. Three-handed. The shorter you get, the more valuable things become.
Call.
Shih just with the call. Would you not prefer seeing aggressive action there from Shih, trying to take initiative, take control there with ace 10?
I think he's shown that he just doesn't really want to go too crazy. Him and Wiegmann are, for all intents and purposes, tied in chips, but still healthy. Still pretty deep, so no need to go too crazy. If you 3-bet there, you Are you gonna get flatted a lot in position and have to play it out of position? So I think the suited variety of this type of hand, also like that ace jack suited that he had earlier, it'll play fine post. If you do 3-bet and get 4-bet jammed on, it's just kind of a really pukey spot, so you avoid that from happening.
250.
Of course, you can elongate the hand and possibly win it on a later street. 3-3 deuce here, and Wiegmann's going to continue. No spades out there, but the ace high is probably just good enough here that you can come along.
Ace of hearts on the turn.
Bingo.
Now, is Shi's ace disguised to the point here where Wiegmann is going to try and represent it?
I think he can for sure want to represent this ace.
Check.
Instead, Wiegmann just has to check back. River brings the 5 of hearts. She considering, do I do it myself or do I hope that Wiegmann does it? But he is going to grab some chips here.
I think she probably realizes that there's going to be a lot of checkbacks at this point from Wiegmann, and also not many 4s in his range, so you can just come with a value bet pretty comfortably there. Maybe you get called by a worse ace. Maybe you get called by some king highs. Maybe some pairs that are somewhere between the ace and the 5. She's starting to get kind of close to Stavia up there, and Wiegmann's falling off the pace a little bit. He needs to put the hat back on.
Yeah, Pikachu in the chat says she's going to win. I mean, yeah, if recent hands have been an indication, he's definitely on the right track.
Well, they already gave him the trophies. We know that. I mean, that's like a winner's foot right there.
Yeah, I mean, I'd believe it.
Raise 330.
330 is the raise on the button.
Ace jack here for Wiegmann, so here we go. Three bet coming, and this hand. Curious if he, at any frequency, just says all in with the offsuit variety.
All in.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Probably not all in 3-bet suited, 3-bet all in unsuited. Again, you're just a little bit more comfortable if you do get called in position with a suited hand versus an unsuited hand, so. Ace queen for our chip leader.
Raise 300.
Ace 5 for Wegman.
This could be troublesome.
Yeah, he's kind of like bobbed and weaved at the right times. You know, think about that ace-7 of spades, right? He avoided disaster. I mean, not that he... Hey, look at that. You know, just well done. I mean, that's a hand that I think you see some players come with a 3-bet.
Yeah, so what makes him fold that? Is I don't know.
I mean, honestly, he might just tell you he's got a feeling. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
I don't know, you know? Like, sometimes you just know, right? Although they say, open tight, 3-bet light.
Wow, put that on a T-shirt. Ace deuce on the small blind here. Time to attack the big blind.
Call.
Or just make the call.
Check. Check. Check.
Quickly, we've moved on to the turn. Stavia paired his queen. Let's see if she can get some value from his small ace here.
Check. $275.
275 is the bet from Stavia, and she gets exactly what he was hoping for. Ace deuce not the type of hand to go bombs away betting with, but in this situation
Call.
against one opponent, it is a great way to pick up some additional chips. Jack of
We're
hearts
supposed to be on break. Or
hits
is it
on
just,
the river.
Like, can I go to break? Or well, I'll wait for the hand.
The floor.
I just noticed the clock. We've been on break for a couple minutes, but it's probably just this hand, I guess. I don't know.
The floor is coming up before us.
Does that mean this level's over too?
Stavia going to come again. Look at that.
Wow. And is this a value bet in Stavia's eyes?
550.
I think he's value betting, yes.
550.
Target a 7. You know, maybe he's got some sort of diamond combination that connected with the jack or a 4.
Call.
And the call's been made. Stavia does show his hand with confidence,
What is that?
Queen 10.
Queen 10.
and she wants to see it first
King
before
10. I was
tabling
like,
his ace.
Is it a straight?
She picks up a nice pot and takes the chip lead. We're going on a short break. We'll be back
I
in
got
about
125.
15 minutes.
Just buy
See you
one.
soon. On the Venetian channel, he's saying this looks beautiful. Thank you, Brian, for chiming into the chat. It's an honor to have MSPT launch the Venetian Poker Live stream. Venetian, of course, the home of the MSPT in Las Vegas.
Yeah, several events every single year. All of them do extremely well, including this one. You mentioned it at the top of the show, 892 entries. Do want to point out on this hand, we did see Ung fold pocket 8s under the gun, so a little bit conservative there, playing the ICM game. And then you see High Miller, certainly not one to play the ICM game. He's in there with the 9-4.
Ace 8-5, Rainbow rolls off the deck. Wow, 5 of clubs on the turn. Heimler picks up a flush draw while Nahum is trying to get some value from his ace-queen.
Heimler is going to continue on this card, I would guess, picking up that second club. I'm a bit surprised he didn't fire the flop as the pre-flop raiser, an ace-high texture like this. Nahum has kind of a disguised hand, you know. Probably would expect a 3-bet from the chip leader at some frequency. He can, of course, play a 5 here, yes, but has this ace. And Heimler's coming back with a raise. Is that it's a min raise there?
This is the Dan Heimler we know and love, applying that pressure. And Donnie, if this club comes off, we might see some blood.
Yeah, I was talking to Kafir before the final table, and he was saying that he would have had about 1 million more chips had he not lost the pot to Heimler. So we'll see what happens here.
Oh, no! The club comes in on the river. Nahum checks to Heimler, who obviously set this up on the turn in anticipation of making his flush. The question now is, how much damage is he looking to do here?
Yeah, I mean, I think Heimler can just unload. He's got 2.5 million behind. There's just under 1.8 in there. He could go for it all. He could go for a fairly beefy bet here.
1 million.
Goes for 1 million even here on the river. Nahum looking down at his stack, tosses in the call. He's going to see the bad news. Just the old 9-4 clubs, no big deal. Dan Heimler gets it done, rakes in a big one.
The other players might be a little bit more likely to kind of just start getting after it, right? No one wants to go out first. And here we go. Ace-5 Nahum jams the small blind, and Ung is Ace-10. He's in there.
Wow. Ung with a terrific spot to double up, holding the better ace.
Can't fault Nahum here for jamming, given the stack size of Ung. It's just he just runs into it. You know, it really has been a bad day at the table for Nahum, and it continues here with this dominating position that he's in and very much behind.
How much you have?
Don't answer.
Yeah, hit him with the prepay.
Nahum trying to go for the prepay. Ung, the player at risk. Hung says his hobbies include being a degen. Now, this, of course, one of those spots you live for.
1.1
If you are a degen, hoping for that ace-10 to hold up.
The good old prepay.
There you go.
As long as you didn't say it, it's good. This guy has the tricks, bro.
Let's see if the tricks work for Nahum. We've got Queen 5-4 on the flop, and there it is. A 5-4 Nahum. Ung is in trouble, looking for a 10 only, or running cards to stay alive.
World flush.
8 of diamonds. 8 of diamonds would be the sweat.
World flush.
Backdoor diamonds available. Backdoor Broadway available. Turn is the Queen of Hearts. Ung now looking for an ace or a 10 to survive, or else he will be our 7th place finisher. Yeah, doing the stand-up. If he had a backpack, he would put it on right now. River card is the ace of spades.
I win?
There's a chance.
You win, sir.
Ace, queen, queen, 10.
I didn't see that out.
Ace, queen, queen, 10. Oh, it's a 10
I didn't
play.
see that out.
For a second, I thought it was a check.
Thanks for rooting for me, guys.
Have some sympathy from me.
There's 425.
Nice looking ace king suited for Heimler. Note the sizing once again, a little bit on the larger size for what we're used to
Yeah,
seeing.
tilted, you know, he just doubled up.
Action over to Stanley Wang in the big blind. He's been quiet as of late. He's got ace-7 suited. Wang on just under 20 bigs here to start this hand.
That was sick.
That was.
If you had answered, most likely would have lost, honestly.
That was good for the stream.
That was great for the stream.
Wow, and he's going to run right into it here.
Wow. Heimler versus Wang for a big pile of chips. Stanley Wang finds himself at risk holding ace-7 of diamonds. Coming over the top of the Dan Heimler race to 425,000.
No.
Don't answer. Nobody.
The big ace prevailed on the river on the previous hand. Can it again survive to reduce this field at this point to its final 6 as the chip leader now holding the biggest cards. And it's 10-5-6, 2 spades. Music to the ears of Dan Heimiller, who picks up a spade draw as well, eliminating the 7 of spades from Wang's outs. Wang looking for a 7 and a 7 only. He is standing up, channeling those poker gods, hoping to keep his seat here at Venetian Poker Live. 6 of diamonds on the turn opens up some chop outs.
Could be worse, that's for sure.
It's never easy.
Deuce of hearts.
Heimiller looking for a deuce. River card is the 3 of
Okay.
diamonds. It might as well be a deuce. Stanley Wang, first casualty from this final table. I mean, Venetian has so many good restaurants. Same for Palazzo, which we are, of course, also close to.
Oh, just quads. No
Wow.
big deal.
Just quads for Alex Kim. Of course, he's going to slow play this in hopes that green catches something to call with. Perhaps that deuce a little enticing for green to come along with if Kim keeps it small, but other than that, it's going to be hard for him to extract major value. Kim betting 300,000 does indeed try to keep it small and tempting, and well. Green with the min raise to 600,000. Music to the ears of Kim, who has quads. Hasn't even double checked his cards. He's just so confident. Would love to see a call here. Give green some rope, as they say. Oh, wow. We are in a bit of a raising war. Kim now making it 1 million. How do you feel about this move?
Yeah, I do like it, you know. I think that there's going to be, obviously, the really good value hands.
2.2.
I would, oh,
Whoa!
Hello.
What is going on here? Green is not buying the fact that Kim has the goods here, and he comes back over the top. Is this where Kim hits the brakes and gives green the opportunity to make another misstep on the river?
yeah, you know, this feels like one of those spots where, kind of if you're in Alex Kim's spot, you're like, anything I do feels like he's going to know.
Right.
It's like, so what's the best path to me getting more money? And I think it is just call here. Certainly let him just, you know, really just hang himself if he's bluffing, if he wants to get crazy. Even if he's got a hand like this where if the river just blanks off with, like, I don't know, a 10, for example, green might just feel compelled to bluff because the pot is so big.
River is the king of clubs. Green put a lot of chips in the middle on the turn with just the jack deuce here. 5.3 million up for grabs in this pot, and we know that Kim has the nuts. Kim with 2.9 million left behind. Green has him covered by a wide margin. Kim just keeps looking back down at his stack, perhaps not confident that green will do the betting. What an interesting hand. And he does check. Now the action on green. Will checking to him feel like surrendering? I'm sure it has to, because how often is this deuce going to be good?
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine this deuce is good.
Does check behind.
I have quads.
Wow.
Very casually, Kim announces, I have quads.
I have quads, no big deal. Heimiller with a raise here, jack 3 off from the small blind. Six, 5 suited for Scarborough. Enough of a hand for him to come along. He is the shortest stack here, but he's going to take a shot. He is able to play this in position.
Certain people.
And that is a nice flop for Scarborough. 5-4-3, 1 spade. He's got top pair. He's open-ended. He's got the backdoor spades. And he could get some action because Heimiller did connect here with that pair of threes. And
900K is the bet from Heimiller. If you're Scarborough here with 3.2 million in front of you, is this the moment where you pull the trigger?
yeah, I think you can just get it in here. You know, if you do get snapped off by a better hand, you know, you still got a decent amount of equity.
All in.
And he pulls the trigger indeed. Scarborough moves all in.
About how much? Let's see, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh boy.
Heimiller not happy, but also not giving up just yet.
3.2.
Probably kind of thinking to himself, what did I get myself in here with the old Jack 3 off?
So it's -2. I owe 2, 3. 75. 2.375.
Is Heimiller trying to talk himself into this or out of this? I'm not sure.
Both? Is that allowed? I mean,
Heimiller shaking the head, probably realizing he took this one a little bit too far.
Ah, shit. Oh, I guess I got to call and pray. I call.
Oh, the call and pray from Dan Heimiller, and we got ourselves a monster pot.
I was hoping he just had the draw.
Heimiller just looking for a jack or a 3, or his dreams of winning this event will be
Jack
gone.
3. Jack or 3.
Anthony Scarborough in a terrific situation to reduce this tournament to its final 3 players. Turn card is the king of spades. Heimiller sees his outs reduced even further. 4 outs now. A jack or a 3, but it can't be a spade. River card is the 10 of diamonds, and that is it. 200K, 400K with the 400K big blind ante, and there he goes. Heimiller all in on the very first hand, back from break. Anthony Scarborough, who just doubled through Heimiller.
All in.
Next to act with ace-king, and he moves all in over the top. We're going to have an all-in showdown here right away.
Wow, that was crushed both ways. That's crazy.
If I had saved on chip, I might have had to go gone all in anyway. I saved 2 million. Yeah, just over 3 million. I would have had to go all in no matter what.
Dan Heimiller held the chip lead at his final table for quite some time, but now he finds himself on the ropes. Heimiller looking for a 9 or hearts.
I would have had 3.5 million left. I would have probably gone with it.
Here comes the flop. Deuce 7-3. Heimiller looking for a 9 and a 9 only to survive here. He could back his way into a chop, but that is very unlikely. Well, it's more likely now. 4 of diamonds on the turn gives Heimiller an escape. A 5 would chop it. 9, though, the only card that can double him up right now. Let's see the river card. It's the 6 of... Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have 3-handed action inside the Venetian Poker Room. This is Venetian Poker
You're
Live.
like 6, a little over 6.
We're like probably even.
Yeah.
Me and him probably even.
My name is Remco Rinkema. Donnie Peters still alongside me. Hope you had a good little break to perhaps make some coffee, pour yourself a beverage, perhaps make a bit of lunch or dinner, depending where you are. We are ready for the next phase of this tournament. Stacks are still deep. The shortest stack, 23 big blinds. The largest stack, 33 big blinds. We are up to 100K, 200K. 200K big blind ante as well. Welcome back, everyone. She's still guarding the trophies with his life.
Raise 400,000.
400K is the first raise here as Stavila finds ace-10 offsuit. Stavia putting together a 3-bet, so it seems.
Raise 1.3 million.
1.3 million is the 3-bet. Queen Jack ends up in the muck, and so does Jack 9. Stavia draws first blood here, the new level. By the way, if you're catching us on the PokerGO YouTube channel or PokerGO.com, please head on over to Venetian Poker Live on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, click like on that video, and help us build up that new channel from scratch. It's really cool launching a new platform in partnership with Venetian. It's going to be 2 streams a week, most weeks. We have our first cash game stream coming up on February 21st, headlined by Jean-Robert Belland. That'll be a 100-200 no-limit hold'em game. 7-handed. Donnie and I will be on the call.
Raise 400.
A little refresher on the payouts. 87,000 for third, 120 for second, and 167 for the winner. And that win will come with those 2 trophies you see in front of Shih. I do hope that when we get the heads up that the trophies goes to the center of the table, so that
It has to.
Whoever is heads up will get a taste of the trophy. If you were the coach of any of these players, what would you advise them in this current scenario, 3-handed with big pay jumps looming?
Going back to what I said right before break, I think Stavia specifically, I would say start getting after it a little more. You know, I mean, I know the other players are still fairly deep when, you know, what you're used to at a lot of times 3-handed in a poker tournament, but he's got the biggest stack, so he can apply the most pressure. So just kind of really get after it and put your opponents in some tough spots. You know, other than that, I think it's pretty understandable how she's playing. You know, he's stuck in the middle there, so he's not going to want to get overly aggressive where he really jeopardizes his position. And then, you know, Wiegmann's going to, now on right around 20 big blinds, like, he's going to be basically like, okay, like, I got to kind of try and find something to get my money in with. And she might continue here on an ace-high board. Looks like so.
400. Call.
Call has been made. 6 of diamonds on the turn. 3 diamonds now. I wonder if that's... Yeah, it's going to slow down Shih right away. Now, Stavia with a pair of 10s has showdown value of his own. Could we see 2 quick checks here?
Well, Stavia is not going to do anything quick.
True.
Check.
But yeah, checking back for him, you know, he's got a pretty good hand, but maybe don't want to go too nuts with how big you make this pot.
Check. Check.
You're good.
Check, check
Probably
again. And Stavia's 10 is going to be good here despite the presence of the aces and the diamonds. Looks like Shih perhaps a little frustrated, or perhaps I didn't see that right, but he his body language definitely seemed as though he, you know, perhaps thought I should have bet, I should have taken a shot here.
Yeah, maybe he just didn't like the run out, you know, that didn't allow him to ultimately take another stab at it. So maybe a little bit like I did technically have the best of it pre-flop, and he just, you know, hit a pair and it was enough for him to continue. So yeah.
Stavia, King 8 off, again with an opportunity.
Oh.
Decides to limp this time around.
Check.
Wouldn't have been surprised there to see a raise from Wiegmann. You know, the 6-2 off is, again, it's like, how well is it going to flop anything post? So do you really even care to just check it back? You might as well just try and win it pre-flop. Maybe your opponent's limping with, like, I don't know, 6-4 off or something like that, and you can just get him to fold those types of hands pre. Check, check here. Jack pairs the board.
Check.
Another check from Stavia, and he probably feels all right about this king high now on a paired board like this. Probably feels even better of it now. He's going to go value hunting.
500K from Stavia, and Wegman lets it go.
Wonder if it would have been better to check that, just check call, you know, because then the hands like the 6 deuces of the world, the stuff that just complete airballs might fire a bluff, versus the calling range from your opponent seems a little bit more narrow. Yeah, so this stuff I like to see from Stavia. I mean, Queen 6 doesn't look all that great, but, you know, that queen is high enough that it does have some blocker properties to it, so you're in position as well. You are the big chip leader. Yeah, just attack, you know. The other players have not really shown that they're going to be fighting back quite often against you, so just go after it.
And Wiegmann, as of recently, has sort of been patiently sitting back. I wonder if he's just okay being a bit on the tighter side for now. No real reason to force it. Stacks are still plenty deep.
Ace-4 off here for him. On the button.
Raise 400.
Wiegmann springs into action as I say that. Of course, ace-4, not a spot you pass up on. Let us know in the chat who you think is going to come out on top, as Stavia has expanded his chip lead up to 9.2 million. If you missed it earlier, Stavia hit a one-outer, drilling a straight flush on the river. That hand sent Evan Sandberg to the rail. Stavia has just been in cruise control all day.
Gonna play a flop here. 1.4 in the middle. Stavia versus Wiegmann. 7, 5, 4. Rainbow. 1 spade. Notable due to the spades in the hand for Stavia.
Check.
I think Wiegmann could start betting here. He's got one of those hands that's kind of in no man's land, but the 7-5-4 from the big blind in position, he could certainly connect with that quite a bit.
$350.
Maybe peel one here. See if you can maybe get to a free river. Maybe you pick up some additional equity.
Check.
Not the worst, I don't think, when you have a pair and now you have 2 pair.
I mean, most importantly, 2 million in the middle. For Wiegmann, this is almost like a make or break spot to keep his stack where it is right now. Do you take additional risk here because you don't want to let go of a hand like this?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got that type of hand class that is going to be willing to bluff at. You know, I think Stavia can have a lot of like the ace high, king highs of the world here. Peeling one, you know, we know that Stavia has been sticky at times, so he doesn't necessarily have to have connected. So if you think he's got those hands, he's getting sticky on the flop one time, if you continue to barrel off here, it's going to put, you know, a lot of stuff in an uncomfortable position, and he is coming for it once again. 700. So he's making it look like he wants to try and get 3 streets here. 700 here if you get called. Come with a jam on the river. And I would imagine if he gets called and this river doesn't come a jack or a 10, he's gonna jam.
Wow, that'd be sick.
I mean, I think, you know, you go back to that hand where he had Jack 10 against Victor Shi's Ace Jack, and, you know, he talked about how, like, on the turn he was betting, he's like, I'm going to have to go 3 streets here. So I think in his mind, you know, he's probably like, okay, this is a deuce. Like, I mean, let's go.
So Stavia ultimately makes the call. 9 of spades hits on the river. Stavia again quick with the check. Now Wiegmann with 2 options. Do I fire it all and go for it, or do I check back knowing that jack high is not going to be enough to win this one? 3.5 million in the pot.
Again, I think he's going for it here. I think, you know, that decision was made on the turn in a lot of ways. There it is.
Wow. Wiegmann goes for 3 big barrels and jams on the river.
2.3 million.
2.3 million is the shove. And Stavia with a monster decision on his hands. We could get down to heads-up play if he pulls the trigger here, but this is a very hard call to make.
Yeah, tough call here. You know, he can have a range of different 5s. He could have 6-8 in there. If he has a hand like a 9-7, probably similar line here.
Now, what value hands do you do this with if you're Wiegmann? Because Stavia raised before the flop, and then Wiegmann took control right away
Yeah,
when
like, you know,
7-5-4 fell on the table.
I think your worst value is 9-7. I think you can have 9-7, you can have 6-8 suited, you can have 6-5 suited. What if you have an 8-5 suited, for example? Like, all that sort of stuff I think can play. This way, and then, yeah, I don't think he's doing this with a 4, so having that 4 in your hand, if you're Stavia, like, you're not going to talk yourself into, well, I block him having a 4. Like, I mean, maybe 4-5 suited specifically, but other than that, I don't think he has many 4s here. And then the bluffs are going to be Jack 10, Jack 8, Queen, Jack, Queen 10, like that kind of, again, weird middle ground on the flop where, like, you don't probably think you have showdown value, but you maybe don't have enough equity to check back, so you just start barreling it off.
And Stavia lets it go. Wiegmann's 3-barrel bluff gets through, and look at him.
I'm curious, but
Wow. Bluffing with his tournament life on the line.
feels like value though. Huh? Feels like value, but I'm curious.
Stavila thought it was value too, so.
I mean, Wiegmann almost seemed surprised that it worked.
Bad board. a good board for you.
I hope it makes the highlights.
It will. It will.
Damn, make it sound like it was a bluff.
Maybe it was quads.
I mean,
You know how they used to say, you know, you play the player?
right.
Nowadays, it's transitioned to you kind of play the board and how your range is assigned to the board. Like, that board is better for his range in that spot, and he knows it. He's a very good player. He plays a lot, both live and online. Probably pretty studied as well, so he just recognizes that, you know, as soon as that flop comes out, as long as it goes pretty decent run out, this is my hand to win, even though I just have jack high. And listen, if your opponent heroes it off, I mean, he heroes it off. Like, what are you going to do? But good recognition there from Wiegmann.
Once again, shout out to everyone watching on PokerGo and on the Venetian Poker Live YouTube channel. We're closing in on 600 subscribers on the new Venetian Poker Live YouTube channel. Do me a favor and go find us there. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications, and I promise you we'll deliver tons of good content into your YouTube feed. Lots of streams coming up and a whole bunch more. Ace-5 for Shih in the small blinds. He now down to 19 bigs.
All in.
Moves all in. And Stavia finds
course, right?
ace-10 offsuit.
He's
Like 3.8.
this is a call, I
Yes.
think.
Wow. Did not see that coming. That's how poker goes sometimes. Before you know it, your tournament life is on the line. And that is exactly what is happening here. Shih with ace-5 in a lot of trouble. Stavia with ace-10 in a terrific situation to take a massive chip
cooler,
lead
straight-handed.
to heads-up play.
That's what happens when the blinds go away.
Yeah, you do.
Even if it was 30 blinds, probably still.
Sucks for 30, but you have a lot of
Huh?
tips. It sucks for 30.
Yeah.
Less bad for
I like 19 or some shit.
3.8.
Yeah.
All right. As we await the flop, Shih knows that he needs some serious help here. And here's ace,
they put up
jack,
something.
6. She's still looking for a 5 and a 5 only. Stavia on cruise control
I wouldn't
here,
mind a jack.
on his way to
okay,
heads
be
up
good.
play. Turn
Okay,
is
oh,
the
I'm
6
good
of
with that,
spades,
actually.
and that changes things.
Like
nut
least
card for
favorite
me.
card.
We're now looking at a
Okay with
chop.
Jack, honestly.
Nah, not another jack, dude.
Jack would be fine.
Don't do me like that.
Stavia still with some ways to win this thing. She will be happy with a chop here. River card is the 8 of diamonds.
Chop it up.
Jack, take-
Chop it up. She lives the fight on.
Just
Can't go
dawned
extra.
on me that Stavia looks like a
did
young
you?
David
I
Beckham.
guess he loses.
Oh, I can
He
see that.
loses half a blind
I can
because
see
his
that.
ante is not his.
That's a good result.
It's not a good result if you're Stavia. You're about to KO an opponent and get heads up, and you end up chopping it up.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
No deal has been made that we know of. And I would guess these players aren't gonna deal.
Yeah, they seem to not even be concerned with it. So
Yeah, I mean they've I think they're all appropriately experienced that, you know, this is within their realm to just play for it as it stands.
Raise.
Raise 400.
She right back to it with pocket sixes. And Jack's now forced the via.
Oh.
This guy just keeps picking up hands.
And this is going to be troublesome for Shih. Would imagine a pair of sixes is just going to be too hard, three-handed to get away from.
And here comes the 3-bet.
Raise. 1.1 million.
1.1 million is the 3-bet action back on Shih after Wegman gets out of the way. Shih started the hand with 19 bigs. Is he gonna continue here?
Yeah, I don't think you want to just call and, I mean, how well is sixes going to flop? I think this is between jam or a fold, but probably going to lean the jam route, given that we're three-handed here. And if that does happen, of course, Stavia is going to beat him into the pot.
All in.
There
And
it
he
is.
moves all in. Stavia's gonna snap it off. And he's got an even better chance now
An upside down 9.
to bring this tournament to heads-up play, as Shih is the big underdog with the small pair.
Back at it again. Cooler after cooler after cooler.
Jacks versus sixes.
And it's been the day of the runouts too, you know? Like a 4 or 5 7. That's, I'd rather that than a 6-3 deuce.
Let's see if Shih can find himself some hope on the flop here. Five-three deuce.
As expected. Not bad.
He does
There you
have
go.
some hope here.
Could be worse.
A 4 or a 6 for Shih
Anything else less.
would have him doubling up to 8 million.
Just got here. Why couldn't he just be bluffing?
Huh?
Why couldn't he just be bluffing there?
Why can't I just have like ace-3? Yeah. Why they?
Stavia still well on
How do
front.
they give you a pair? Set you
Turn
up?
is the 5 of clubs.
That's
Still
the right 2 side.
no difference here. Shih down to his final 6 outs. Dan Stavila about to be a massive chibler going into heads-up play, unless we see a miracle on the river, and it's not there.
Yeah, bro.
Dan Stavila rakes in this monster pot, and Victor Shih
trio right here.
will be our third-place finisher,
Us all 3.
cashing for $87,416.
East Bay, East Bay.
And look at that chip lead, 11.8 million to 5.8 million.
So I can't be big twice, or I don't know how that works.
Dan Stavila
All right, good luck, buddy.
in a terrific position here
What's up?
to take down the
Can I
largest
step
win
away for a
of his
second?
live tournament career. Sounds like players are taking a quick break, and this is going to be a very quick one. It sounds like we'll be back in about 3 minutes. So real quick bathroom break for the players. We'll be back with heads up play in just a few. 400K with the 400K big blind ante, and there he goes. Heimiller all in on the very first hand back from break. Anthony Scarborough, who just doubled through Heimiller.
All in.
Next to act with ace-king, and he moves all in over the top. We're going to have an all-in showdown here right away.
Wow, I was crushed both ways. That's crazy.
If I saved my chip, I might have had to go gone all in anyway. I saved 2 million. Yeah, just over 3 million. I would have had to gone all in no matter what.
Dan Heimiller held the chip lead at his final table for quite some time, but now he finds himself on the ropes. Heimiller looking for a 9 or hearts.
I would have had 3.5 million left. I would have probably gone with it.
Here comes the flop. Deuce 7-3. Heimiller looking for a 9 and a 9 only to survive here. He could back his way into a chop, but that is very unlikely. Well, it's more likely now. 4 of diamonds on the turn gives Heimiller an escape. A 5 would chop it. 9, though, the only card that can double him up right now. Let's see the river card. Oh. It's the 6 of diamonds. Dan Highmiller eliminated in 4th place.
All right.
Kim's turn to raise on the button, and Green's got a hand. He's very likely going to jam a couple of 8s here in the small blind. Green working with about 14 bigs here.
All in.
There is the shove.
Can I get a comp, please?
Scarborough out of the way, and Kim asks for a count.
5,650,000. 5,650,000. Call.
And the call gets made here. Enormous pot, 12.1 million chips in the middle. A pure coin flip to potentially reduce this
Leave it up
event
to the poker gods.
to its final 2 players.
Good luck.
Pleasantries exchanged here as Rick Green hopes for his 8s to hold up. Kim with ace-9. Looking to hit something. Queen 5-10. Kim looking for an ace or a 9.
I think I'm gonna hit. 4 spades on the turn.
Green doing a good job at fading for now. And the turn is... And here we are back at Venetian Poker Live inside the studio.
California in 09.
Time for heads-up action between the 2 remaining
used to- that
players
was the place
in
before
the Card
Matrix.
Player Poker
1-2?
Tour main event. It is Cody Wiegmann
No,
versus Dan
all started at
Stavia.
Matrix, Good old days.
Wiegmann, the 2-1 underdog at the start of this match. Final 2 guaranteed 120,000 with 167 up top for the winner. We tried to find out if anything happened on the break, but as far as we know, no chops. Not even a discussion. They were just ready to play for it all.
Love it. Let's go.
Welcome back to all the viewers on both PokerGo and the Venetian channel. Big heads-up match underway here.
It's funny, I started in poker playing heads up sit and goes, but now I feel like I'm no good at them anymore. But like that was also with no big blind ante.
Yeah.
But like when I was underage, on full tilt and stuff, I was like heads up sit and goes only.
There you go. Right on.
The era of poker could not be any more different than when full tilt poker was still around. Those times are long gone. What did you specialize in back in the day?
Played on full tilt mostly. I mean, I played cash and tournaments.
I only played tournaments and sit and goes. Lots of sit and goes.
Yeah, I kind of bounced around. You know, I'd have basically play like cash like for like a month or whatever. And, you know, then I'd get like a little tournament bug and want to play tournaments, spend some time doing that. You know, go back to cash, etc. Maybe that's why I never went anywhere in either format.
Exactly.
I was too busy going back and forth.
You just average at everything. King 9-4, 2 diamonds.
Check.
Ace high out in front. Excuse me, pair of 4s out in front here, and now trip 4s. Very comfortable for Wiegmann.
Check. Check.
Action goes check, check again. 3 of hearts on the river. Wiegmann not getting Stavia to bet so far.
I mean, if he saw Stavia's hand, this is how he would play it. Just check and hope your opponent finally bluffs with the 8 high, and he's going to do that. So he's going to, you know, played it where he's getting 300K more out of him.
Raise.
Here we go with the check raise.
1.2.
1.2 million requested here by Wiegmann, and Stavia knows that the gig is up. Let's it go. And Wiegmann gets up to over 6 million. A look here at the chalice and the trophy and the card protector. Those will go home with the winner today. Fives for Wiegmann. We've mentioned this many times before, but with the big blind ante in play, there's basically no folding in this game.
450.
Raise. 450.
Pressure is about to be applied.
Raise.
Wow. Surprised to see this?
1.4 million.
Not really. I mean, he's just fighting back with a hand that probably doesn't care to take post, but do you really want to fold? So let's just apply pressure. Let's go that route. Maybe the jack blocks some premiums from your opponent.
All in.
Wow. And Wiegmann, not beating around the bush, just moves all in over the top with pocket fives, and Stavia tosses him in, and we got a much
You
closer
can leave the ante if you want.
match
Yeah, right.
on our hand right now. 9.3 to 8.3 million. We are almost tied with the blinds this big.
Call.
Check.
Battle of the same hand. The old powerful 5 deuce offsuit for both players.
Check.
Check.
Both flopping a straight draw. Could be advantage Stavia here, given that he's in position.
Raise. 550.
And look at this, both these players not messing about. Wiegmann making it 550. What a change of pace from Wiegmann, who is cranking up the aggression as soon as heads-up play starts.
I could certainly see Stavia fighting back here. He's ultimately in position. He's got that 5 of diamonds in his hand. Here we go.
Wow. Action is not done yet because we are coming back over the top. And a snap fold now from Wiegmann, and both players trying to assert some dominance here. Very cool to see. This battle is very much back and forth.
I couldn't help myself. I couldn't help myself but raise.
What's up?
Couldn't help myself but raise.
Yeah. Sometimes the fingers do the talking, right?
Yeah. I mean, I had a diamond in my hand and a gut shot. I felt pretty all right.
So did he.
Okay, so you're at least selective then.
Huh?
You're at least selective then.
Most hands.
8-6 suited here for Wiegmann on the button.
Raise 450.
Four 3 off here for Stavia. Good enough to call, I think. Yep. King 10-7 rainbow, 1 diamond out there. Wegman in position. Stavia already checked. Betting a quick fold.
What's the deal with your screen name? I don't remember what it was, but I just remember seeing it and I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah, they ask me that all the time. Fat Frumos. He comes from Romanian folklore. It's like a prince, Prince Charming.
Oh, so it's like a character then?
Yeah.
Or a person, I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And then my online name, stuck with it since. They call me Fatty now.
Darn.
King 9 for Stavia on the button. We're looking at another raise again here.
$475.
Neither player passive. Everyone looking to crank it up whatever chance they get.
Call from Wiegmann with 6-4 off. Here we go. 10-6-5.
Pair for Wiegmann here, and Stavia with the betting lead. Let's see if he fires this one.
Coming a little bit larger here. It's about, what, 40%, 45% pot, something like that. Wiegmann won't be going anywhere with middle pair. Does call, and pot's over 2.1 million. Here we go.
Closer to you as well.
Turn is the 8 of hearts. Stavia picks up some additional outs here. 6 still best.
Maybe lead him to a check back here.
Check.
He does check back. Jack on the river.
I mean, that 6 is sort of just, you know, hiding there on the board, surrounded by opportunities. Is this board scary enough for Stavia to say, if I can apply pressure here, it's going to be hard for Wiegmann to call me?
Yeah, I think so. He's also got that 9 blocker. I think at this point, you know, I could understand starting to think that King High probably has some showdown value, but it would also seem like your opponent has a lot of 1-pair hands right now. So can you make those 1-pair hands fold on this type of texture? I mean, you got a good chance, I think, depending on what sort of sizing you come with. And it looks like he is going to pounce. This is going to be a really tough call for Wiegmann.
850 is the bet from Stavia. Yeah, it'd be extremely, extremely impressive if he can find the call here. And the 6-4 does end up in the muck. Sounds like we are going to
125, 250.
increase the blinds to 125, 250 as Stavia is back to his sort of original chip lead. As we've seen over the course of the last few hands, this is really anyone's game.
So yeah, you guys spaced out the stream, I guess, with the cameras. and
What's up?
That makes.
That's what we were talking about.
What happened?
No, just yeah. So you guys are sitting
Just
where
because of where they placed us, we could have been across the table
Oh.
from each other and in vision of the thing, but because of the cameras, we were sitting here.
Yeah.
I like these seats.
Yeah, you could still see your opponent plenty, I think.
Call.
Now that things are effectively a little bit shorter, 27 bigs for Wiegmann, probably going to start seeing a little bit more of this, meaning the limping on the button.
Queen, deuce, 4, 2 hearts.
Check. 250.
Opening a straight draw here for Wiegmann. Stavia with his standard sort of, let's start on the turn with this hand. I'm not going anywhere right now.
I mean, that's the quickest he's called all day.
And the ace on the turn gives Wiegmann a wheel. Broadway draw still out there for Stavia, but things not looking too good for him right now.
Yeah, I think Wiegmann can just keep betting here. You know, his opponent could have some sort of draw. He can have the hearts. He can obviously connect with the various different pairs that are out there. It's always nice when you have these straights that, you know, don't have any sort of connectivity with a pair on the board, because then your opponent can have all those hands. And we of course know that heads up, you make kind of really any sort of pair, any sort of halfway decent draw, you're usually putting chips in the pot. So it's just value town now for Wiegmann.
Call.
And Stavia is going to call, and he's got 4 outs to make a straight here with the wheel for now. Very well hidden by Wiegmann, and he is on his way to potentially winning a massive one. But there's the 10 on the river.
Oh no.
Broadway comes in for Stavia, and he checks. Oh my God. This final table has been full of shockers. And now, in the most unlikely of ways, both players with a straight. You cannot make this up.
I mean, this is just a disaster card for Wiegmann. I have no idea how he would ever get away from this. Just the absolute ultimate cooler in heads-up play.
2.4.
Look at that. He's going almost full pot here.
2.4 million is the bet, And Stavia must be thinking, this is me. It's all over right now. I'm just going to move all in and either win a massive pot and get him down to 3.3 million, or I might even get him to call.
And I think this sizing does look like some sort of value here. You know, in an ideal world, your opponent has like an ace-4 type of hand, 2-pairish, you know. Obviously, he has better than that, yes, but you're hoping he really has value, and when you jam, he's going to call it off. And, man, just a brutal spot for Wiegmann.
Stavia taking time. He's been doing that all final table long, not rushing into any decisions.
All in.
He moves all in, and Wiegmann snaps it off. And what a monster cooler. Straight versus straight to close this thing out.
So sick.
And Dan Stavia will get the largest outright poker career. And he looks up at the sky in disbelief. Cody Wiegmann put on a show today. He takes home $120,000. But the ultimate spoils are for the man from Moldova, who takes home $167,000, the chalice and the trophy, as Cody Wiegmann's head is still spinning on his way out the door, busting heads up with a straight versus a higher straight. What an absolutely epic river card to close this thing out. All right, I want to thank you all for watching. Thank you for tuning in to Venetian Poker Live, the Card Player Poker Tour. Main event final table was quite an exciting one. We'll see you again soon on February 21st. That's when we have our first cash game here from the Venetian Poker Room. Don't miss that. More information will be available on the Venetian Poker Live YouTube channel. Go subscribe right now and join us for that cash game once again on February 21st. For now, thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your Sunday night, and we'll catch you real soon at the next one.